everyone. Welcome back to the Blind Tiger Collective podcast. We are excited that you're here. Grab you pull up to the podcast speaker, right? Like we used to do when we were kids, listening to the radio. I'm speaking for myself. All right. Anyway, I am Terry. I'm one of your hosts. I'm here with my good buddy Charlie Salles and Joe Beecroft. Guys, how you doing?
Super. How are you?
I'm doing all right. You guys didn't sit by the radio when you were kids and listen to story time? No?
Oh, of course. That was a classic pastime. My dad actually did work in radio for 30 years, and so we had one of the big consoles. It wasn't functional until later on in life, but we had the big speakers, and would gather around the fancy radio.
I'm just trying to think about what my experience with radio is. Obviously car radios, and then most of the office jobs I had when I was a younger man, there was always a radio station playing. But they were when Terry was a boy back in the decades ago, back a few decades ago, the radios were what? Just like they were wind up, weren't they, Terry?
They were. Yeah, they wind up. Yeah. No, but as my son likes to say, Dad, you're born in the 1900s. I'm like, okay, come off it.
My kids say that too. Yeah. What were the late 1900s like, Dad? I was like, amazing compared to what I'm having to go through right now.
Oh my God, no idea. The days. Yeah. I saw a video the other day of a concert, right? And it's so weird to see old concerts now because you just see everyone's faces. We're so used to now seeing just everybody's back of their phones. Yeah. It was so weird to see everyone just facing like a cult almost, but that was normal once.
Yep,
that was normal. Those were the days. Oh man, well, it's good to have you guys back on. It's good to be back on the show. We'd love to say that we are regular, but we're also all very busy family people. So busy entrepreneurs, and we got things going on. So. We appreciate you all hanging when we have a little gap in the schedule. So the important part is that we're consistent.
We relish the times that we can be together, and we don't apologize for the times where we have to do other things. It's okay.
That's right. And on the show today, we're going to talk a little bit about the summertime because it is upon us. It's no longer sneaking up. And summertime equals festivals, so we can talk a little bit about our favorite adventures in some of the festivals that we've done. A little festival recap. And we're going to get into some news, some healing news, as Charlie says. The world is healing, the world of bourbon, that is. And I have some fun trivia for you boys. We'll see how far you get. I'll try to stump you, even though I think you're
multiple choice. If it's not multiple choice, I'm
it is.
Round. Okay,
yeah,
good.
It certainly is. Yeah, I wouldn't want anybody to do that to me, Joe.
Choice. I'm way better at know it or blow it. It's
oh, really?
If you give me too many choices, then I have tunnel vision, and I'm like, they all sound good.
You're the C, all the above.
All the above.
Yeah, I was the Christmas tree guy on the Scantron multiple choice.
That's right. So y'all are drinking something. I know I am. So let's go around the room and see what we got. Charlie was digging a cork out of one of his bottles. So what you drinking over there, Charlie? Not cork, I hope.
It was a no bits o' cork in the drink tonight. But there is a reason, and I'll just tease this for later on, that I have resurrected one of my personal favorites. Probably, easily in the top 10, if not the top 5. One of probably the earliest ones I was introduced to, and have really had an appreciation for over the years, and you boys can do the same thing. I now have to have a funny little rubber stopper on it because the cork absolutely disintegrated when I tried to get it out just not too long ago. But this is ye old Ezra number 7, one of the classics. I think when you start to dive deep into the world of bourbon, if this one has not come up, it absolutely should be. Again, this is one that I've held on to for quite some time. You can tell by the disintegrated cork. And I'll tell you why that I chose that one. But it's just a solid one. I get some very rich chocolate and coffee on that, which I don't know if my palate is not to be trusted. So if I give somebody the wrong description, just be like, nope, that's wrong. And nice try. But I love how full this one is. It's to me.
This is a whiskey that really was impacted by the initial bourbon boom, right? Because it was very one of the very always affordable ones, and it's like what 6 years old, is it? Am I
It's
incorrect with
seven.
saying
Yeah, it's a
7 years
7 year.
old?
Hmm.
And then the boom came around and made this one like allocated, right? This was allocated for a while.
Almost, yeah. And
Yeah.
when it won double gold, it almost doubled in price. And yeah, it was a weird time back then when you could just see it on the shelf or kind of go untouched. And I think in the stead they tried to release the rye version of it, and I've honestly never had it, so I couldn't tell you if it's comparable or not. But it was kind of sad to see it sitting at 80, 85,
I
90
know.
bucks. For a long time, just going. I remember when. I
And
remember
what
when.
is it, Charlie? Is it like a $50 bottle now?
Oh yeah. So I'll go ahead
Brilliant.
and just give it away. I was in a store the other day. It's back down to about 50, 51 bucks.
Brilliant.
So almost where it was. I believe that nature is having its way, and things are course correcting, and we are seeing more affordability enter the market. So I've done no other price comparison. I just happened to be passing through yesterday and found it for under what it was marked up to.
Old Ezra is a really good whiskey for the price, or what it should MSRP for. And
Yep.
I have had a couple of batches that have not been as good as others, and I understand it's all the same. But I just think throughout the years, however, like things were being aged, like the older ones, I remember having like a really funky, almost earthy tone to
Yes.
them that like was really unique to an Old Ezra at the time. I remember being able to
Hmm.
blind it, and I don't feel like I could do that now at all. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, they've been historically, but all the same, really great for the value. Historically, they've been an awesome whiskey.
Hmm.
Yep. This is not a Christie encounter, but one of the few times I felt like I was maybe ahead of the curve a little bit. I stopped into a very small shop once, when I was hunting almost daily, and I said, "Hey, do you guys have Old Ezra 7?" And whoever was behind the counter went, "I've never heard of that before." And my jaw hit the floor. I was like, "How have you never heard of this before?" I can't believe someone does not carry nor have knowledge of this absolutely fantastic juice. And so I felt really cool in that moment, just going, "I know something you don't know. Not coming in here to ask for Buffalo Trace. I'm asking for something that you should definitely have."
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I love it. It is man, I love Old Ezra. I think it's great. I'm excited about that. As you say, the world is healing. It's like the first blood on the tree after the forest fire.
It's true. It's true. When you can just see
Joe,
full
what you
hope.
what you
Full
drinking down
hope.
there?
I just killed a bottle, and it's a bottle that is now. I've been killing it. Does that make sense? Killing it for 4 years. I've been drinking it for 4 years, which is slowly killing it, right?
Some would have said
Sounds like my
nursing, but
first
you can say
marriage.
killing. Yeah.
Yeah. I just finished a Nashville Barrel honey finish, and Terry, you were with me the day we got
Yep.
these. Um,
It was great. No, it was a great.
it was
We
great,
lined up.
and
We
yeah,
lined
so
up. It
we
was
lined
one
up,
bottle per person. There was a whole thing.
and they do the honey finish, I think, better than most people do them.
It's a very good one.
It's not. It is obviously you can pick up on the sweetness of the honey, but it's not overly sweet, right?
Right.
But this is a 5-year-old whiskey in here. It's 111 proof. I'm really sad to see it
Solid.
go, and I'm grateful that with some of the healing, to link it back, that we're seeing, we are seeing a couple more honey finishes be much more attainable at a much more reasonable price. Because there was a time where never sub 100 could you get anything honey finished.
Yep.
Yeah, you're 100% right. That's for sure the thing. Like, and I remember, and Joe, you have to correct me if I'm wrong, but I remember them talking about the guys at National Bourbon Co. talking about sourcing the local honey, and I don't know why, but when they're telling the story, I was like, I gotta have that. The stories always help me when it comes to the bourbon, but sourcing the local honey, putting it in a I think they said they put it in a cheesecloth style thing, and they set it inside the middle of the barrel and let it sit. I don't know why, but that sold it for me, and then we tried it, and it was so good. Mine did not last for 4 years. I don't know how you did that.
I pace a lot of silly bottles like this just because when they're this good, they are like it's almost like hazy with the honey finish. But when it's this
Yeah,
good, like
so
I
rich.
struggle to go through something fast when it's this good.
And I will tell you, so I recently had the Green River honey one, and that was a really good one.
Yep.
And it's the price point on it is ridiculous at $25. We just had our good friends Bardstown Bourbon Co. at one of our bourbon events here recently, and we got to try that. And I bought a bottle, and it's also come on, but for as good as it was, and it is really good, I highly recommend it, especially for the price point. That National Bourbon Co. Bottle is like it's very rich. It feels like that. Let that honey sit in there a lot longer than most people do. So yeah, I don't know if it's always going to be hard for me to want to say it's worth more than $100, but I do miss it. So I guess right now, to me, it's
let's
worth $100.
let's go with the healing ethos that nothing should be over $100, right? In a
Yeah,
whiskey
yeah,
world, nothing should be over $100. Come on.
Yep.
yes, I would
I
agree with
agree.
that.
I remember
Um,
seeing maybe a year and a half ago. There was Leaper's Fork did a honey finish, and I think we've talked about this before. But they not only had the mash bill on there, they had the honey bill on there.
Wow.
They showed exactly which combs that the amount of honey came from, and it was all local. It was actually done on the property at Leapers. So you want to talk about incredibly local honey,
that's
like just
awesome.
right down the hill, or an acre or two over, or something like that. And what I remember most about it was how dusty and cloudy it was, because they made an intentional effort not to chill filter it. It was just literally
Cool.
straight from the barrel after being finished. And you sort of had to shake it and mix it up to,
That's
not have
awesome. That's
all the
amazing.
stuff collect in it.
That's
Absolutely
amazing.
lights out.
Yeah, I happily and always buy then at festivals the honey that they then put back in the barrel to age for a little bit before they then repackage the honey. And I'm like, whiskey aged, it's the best cycle in the world. Keep that cycle
It
just going.
is.
Yep.
Yeah, it certainly is. When you add that much honey to bourbon, it feels like bourbon at that point becomes a health supplement. You get
It
your,
does.
the little beeswax. You get some bee pollen in there.
I'm excited to
Yep.
try the what was the one we were just talking, you boys were just talking about, the Green
Green
River.
River.
I'm excited
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
to try the Green River honey, and no doubt it will be good and be something I want. This is absolutely exceptional. Like,
yeah,
I drank a lot of whiskey and just I so wish I had more of this stuff, because it is just I can't describe on how bloody good, balanced, sweet, almost salty. It is just sensational. Really, really
yeah.
good whiskey.
Joe,
Very special.
show that before you drink the rest of it. Show that
Mm.
color to the camera, because that you guys, if
That
you're
is
only listening
nice,
and you're not
nice, and
watching, that
almost more
color.
than copper. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
it has got that slight. It's not like the one you described. I know what you were talking about, Charlie, but it has got that slight haze to it as well,
Mm-hmm.
which is like you can see that, you can taste it, smell it, feel the honey, see the honey. Yeah. Oh, I like honey, so it's good. Beecroft is the last name. Okay, so B Croft. Croft is an area of land. It makes sense, right?
it does. It does. I think it describes your palate with bourbon precisely. Well,
Yeah.
fellas, I'm over here just drinking some Origin series.
Oh,
Uh,
nice.
Classic.
because why
Love it.
not, right? Why not?
And the old label
It's
too.
Yeah, the old label. It's really good. It always hits. If you guys haven't tried the Origin series out there, what are you waiting on? It's a 6 year.
Yeah.
Uh, it's what is it? It's 95. It's 95 rye, so
Yeah.
And you can
96 proof.
find them, right? You
High
can
right.
find them on the
Hmm.
Yeah.
shelves, pretty available.
60 bucks,
Yeah.
55, 60 bucks.
Yeah,
Solid.
it's a great
Mm-hmm.
bottle. It's a great bottle.
Bardstown has
Um,
done a really good job diversifying their line in the right ways.
Yeah.
The article we wrote in one of our first issues, or maybe it was just online, I don't remember which, but they talked about starting at a high price point on purpose, so that they
Yeah.
could do a little bit more, and then they've sort of backed their way into the more
In the right
affordable.
way. Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, resurrecting Green River was just a piece of that, because they were already working
Yeah.
on the Origin series and the Single Barrel series, and now have these I mean, insanely affordable, probably best value on the shelf
Mhm.
as a brand holistically. I would say from the Green River perspective.
But even when they do special bottles, I think they do it with the consumer in mind.
Yeah.
Like the Cathedral one I've got up there,
Hmm.
extremely unique special whiskey. They put them in the half size. Like it makes sense. Like most times, I think companies were trying to bend us over by putting it in a half size and selling
Hmm.
it. But when they talk
Hmm.
about no, by putting it in the half size, we don't have to charge $300 a bottle and can make it more readily available to the majority of people because they do
That's right.
massively cap. You never see these go to the liquor store. It's only through the shop or if you know somebody connected, and there is a limit every single time to these. So
Hmm.
they just do it well, and I think they've always had the consumer in mind at Bardstown, which I give them a lot of credit for.
Yep.
Yeah,
They
one of my
also have an
favorite brands for sure.
8 year they have an 8 year double oaked coming out at some point this year. So be on the lookout for
Wow,
Green River to get a little deeper in their labels and lines too.
amazing.
Yeah, that's cool stuff. Well, fellas, let's talk a little bit about, since we're talking about Bardstown Bourbon Co. You can't talk about that without talking about Bardstown, Kentucky, which is where KBF happens, which puts me on the track for festivals. 'Tis the season
'Tis the season.
for festivals, and I know we on last podcast had our good buddy Tiny Irwin on talking about Southern Whiskey Society and all they've got coming up. Charlie, maybe you can give us a quick recap to that because that's coming up.
Yeah, it's coming up quick. Just under 2 months away. Pre-sales are about to wrap up by the time this debuts. They'll probably be all gone, and public tickets will go on sale pretty soon. 40 plus distillers and an additional probably 8 to 10 tequila brands that will be present. 10 local chefs that will be paired up with a distillery for a very unique experience. There'll be VIP tickets. There'll be an early cigar lounge if you want to come hang out before the event starts. That will also be available. And then something new they're doing this year is the Front Row Whiskey Experience, where they're going to have 4 brands. And I think I can tell this now. If not, I'm going to say it anyways. We'll have Bacta, Found North, Dark Arts, and Desnuda Tequila that will all be hosting 10 people around a table, pouring whatever, having conversations. There may be a small presentation, but really it's meant to be unscripted, unfiltered access to the people who actually make the stuff. You'll see a lot of owners, blenders, distillers in the room, not just promo models or local reps. There'll be some great names that you get to stop and have a conversation with and hear about what's coming down the pike and what they really like and everything in between. So it's gonna be a great day. It's August 8th. Tickets on sale, southernwhiskeysociety.com. And Tiny did a great job unpacking not only the event itself, but the intention behind the event and the kind of experience they look to curate. There's also a group if you're in Nashville or semi-local to Middle Tennessee called the Founders Club. That's a great little quarterly gathering type of thing. So he's doing some really good stuff over there, and it's really fun to watch. Even if it is a small microcosm of the bourbon world, it's still creating some really intentional community around our favorite American spirit.
Yeah, for sure. And if guys you want to hear more about Tiny's story and the rebirth or birth of Southern Whiskey Society or the food and whiskey experience, make sure you go back an episode and check that sucker out. But that leads me to a couple things that I wanted to get into about festival season. Maybe some do's and don'ts would be helpful for some newbies out there, as we'd like to do that
We gave
about
a
it.
master class on that a year ago.
Oh yeah,
We did.
learn
I
by
think it's
trial
worth a
by
recap.
error,
Yeah, that's
learn
right.
by experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, worth a recap. But I also want to get you guys to maybe chime in on maybe your favorite festival experience. Not so much your favorite festival, because I think you can have a great experience at a festival, but overall not like the actual festival. So
Yeah.
I want to put that in the back of your heads as we talk through maybe some do's and don'ts. So let's go maybe top 5 don'ts for the summer whiskey festival, and I'm gonna steal the one right off the top. Don't come on an empty stomach.
Yeah, the morning of is important, right? But when they say breakfast is the most important meal of the day, never is that a truest statement on the day that you're going to a fucking whiskey festival.
That's
All right?
exactly right.
Not wrong.
Yeah, well, I say that it's also the worst decision if you then break the second rule, but I'll wait for that one. Yeah, you really do need to eat not only the morning of a festival, but you need to make sure that you have got periodically planned food along the way, including in between the lunches and the dinners, because you don't realize the toll of the heat on top of the alcohol consumption, even if we're doing the rest of the advice that we'll give you in the rest of this episode. But like, you have to make sure that you have your breakfast. I would eat something hearty snack in between that and lunch. I would have lunch. I would have a hearty snack in between that and dinner, if not two. I would have dinner, because that constant food consumption and processing that,
Mm-hmm.
it's just gonna. I'm not gonna say it's gonna work. It's gonna help just a little bit.
It's gonna help.
Right?
Yeah.
And
I think the
we're
key
in the
there
game of margins when we do
that's
whiskey
exactly
festivals.
right.
Yeah,
Taking the
just
edge
a
off
little
would be
effort goes a long way in
And we're going to
in the
compound a
marathon
lot
that
of
is.
things. Yeah, we're going to
Yeah.
compound a lot of things together.
That's right. That's right.
Yep.
Maybe let's go number two would be, obviously it's hot, right? So hydration is key. These festivals happen. It's summer, right? So it's a good time. You don't realize, because you're not physically exerting yourself per se, but you're losing water while you're bringing in bourbon. So
Yep.
that math don't math. So staying
Gatorade,
hydrated.
liquid
Yep.
IV,
Liquid
Propel.
IV, Flash IV.
Add some electrolytes in there.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, I would. Yeah, because the salt is going to be good. Here you go. Charlie will tell you all about number three. Number three is don't drink too much too quick.
Yep. No sprinting. This is not and that's not an experience thing. That's just like a
No, it's
duh.
not.
Like,
No.
don't.
We've
like,
seen it, haven't we? We've seen it. Me and Charlie have stood there and seen this happen in real life.
We've
Oh, yeah.
all seen it, right? Where somebody just goes, "Yeah, 20 pours." I was like, "Bro, it's been like 45 minutes," and they're going, "Aha, that's right." Also, where is the wall? Because it's now my best friend. We're like, okay, so everybody here is now on friend duty, where we're all going to work in shifts. We're all going to make sure that this person is here, and like a recent wedding I went to, somebody will have to babysit, and that's okay. But yes, you're right. I would also add to that. Don't just sprint to the brands that you default to. Maybe that was your number. That might have been your number 4. But there are new distilleries to discover, and if you just go to some of the big ones and some of the ones that they're going to have that one thing behind the table or whatever it is, congratulations, you did that. But there are some really neat brands that you'll discover because you decided to stop to talk to a new owner or hear a story or see something you've never seen. That'll be one of my stories when we get to it. One of my festival stories here in a second, Terry. But yeah, don't just go to the biggest, the flashiest, the brightest. Like, stop by where nobody is for a second and be like, "What's up? What's going on? How's it? How's your stuff?"
I would agree with that. There's a lot of hidden gems out there. Just like really in any industry, the mom and pops shops are. They always have a surprise up their sleeve. They've got some iteration or some expression of bourbon that you haven't considered, and sometimes that stuff knocks your socks off. That happened to me at KBF last year. There were a few different brands. Dark Arts was one of them. Dark Arts is now it's up there in my top 10, and it's blended. I mean, they're not a distillery; they're a blender. But it was awesome. It was very, very good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, I'll give you number 5. Don't drink and drive, fools.
Yeah.
There we go.
You will reach a point in the afternoon where you think you've become invincible because you're like, if you've done it right and you've paced yourself, you will reach that point where you can keep drinking and not feel as much, and you've done the food, the water, not as drunken, but you're going to get there. And if you keep going, we know how that goes unless you stop and you really rewind. But no matter what you feel like, do not go behind the wheel, because not only is that an incorrect feeling, there are people on those highways with big blue and red sirens looking for you, and rightfully so. And trust me, I don't say this either from experience, and I'm not going to stitch Charlie up and try and make him sound like he's got one either this time.
Not even close.
No, do not have your plans, have accommodation, or book transport. And I will tell you that something like the festival in Bardstown, getting accommodation can be very tricky. It
Hmm.
is still very, very affordable, although a little bit of a pain in the ass. It is still very affordable. Like we do many times, is to get accommodation in Louisville, get transport down to the location, and then hire that transport to take you back up once you boys are done. It's completely
That's right.
possible. It's completely good on a budget. Everyone splits it between them. Don't drink and drive, fools.
Yep. $30 Uber ride's a whole lot cheaper than every other consequence and
That's
result of
exactly
whatever
right.
choice you would make
Yeah,
after that.
yeah.
I would say even a $300 Uber ride. It's still,
It's cheaper.
Harry, that sounds like a
still
story you need to tell. What kind of
no,
Uber X are you
no.
going
I'm just
in,
thinking.
man?
Why Joe made such a great point about accommodations in Bardstown being hard to find. It's like you might
It's
have
true.
to hop in an Uber and you're back in Nashville.
Yeah, you might as well Louisville or
Just
Nashville.
fall asleep or pass
That's
out or
still
whatever, and before you know it, you're back home.
that still might be cheaper than a Greyhound. I don't know. I'd
there
have to do
is
the math
there
on
is
it.
there is options at the highway, which is still a little bit of a trek away from the Bardstown. You're 30-40 minutes, but there is still options and the hotels by the highway that are bookable before you have to then go to Louisville. We've done the
Yep.
Louisville one before, and like when you're with a group of people and you're having a bunch of time and you're sensible and you can all wake up in the morning, grab a coffee, get in a van before drinking, and then have a great journey down. There's nothing better. It's fun. It's camaraderie. And then
Oh
you
yeah,
get there, you don't have to worry about transport because you've been dropped off. And that same van will pick you up, drive you all the way back up. You're all piss drunk at that point. So it's you're either well, don't throw up because that'll cost you a fortune as well. But
oof,
you're either like falling asleep in the van or you're having a blast.
that's right.
And before you know it, you're back. It's just
That's
worth
exactly right.
doing.
Yep.
Good advice, fellas. Good advice. What about some dues?
Yeah.
I think dues are important. Does anybody want to start us off with the one thing that you should definitely do at every bourbon festival?
I'm
Go.
going to piggyback on starting with what Charlie was talking about with the don'ts, with saying, do try as, like this is counterintuitive, do try as many as you can that you're not necessarily familiar with, because you will, this is the perfect place to discover whiskey without having to fork out $40 for a bottle, $80 for a bottle, 100 plus for a bottle. Um, I would be with Charlie that I wouldn't just run straight to the big boys. I would rotate it almost around a whole area. And what I would say is, as my advice would be, is go to every single one, but don't drink every single thing at every single one.
Hmm.
When you go, you know what your palate is, you know what you like, you know what sounds interesting to you. When you talk to them and you have a conversation and hear what they've got to say, it's okay to turn around and say, for that 90 proof wheated that you know you're not going to enjoy, I'll pass on that one. Let me try the rye and your finished one, and then that'll be great. Thank you. Go to every single station, but don't drink every single thing. And that way you can get the most experience. You can stick to what me and Charlie are recommending, which is try everybody and try the small people and get your nose in there.
Hmm.
But yeah, people have the assumption that if I go to every tent, I have to drink every single one of their samples. You don't. You can just start to pick what you really want to try, what you
Hmm.
really are interested in after you talk to them.
Yep.
I
I think a
like that. I
part
want to. Well, go ahead, Charlie.
I was gonna say a part B to that too is when you're trying something new, don't provide instant feedback. Don't sit there and just say like, uh yeah, this isn't really my thing. Or like if you try it, like be kind. That's really the
Hmm.
positive version of that. Like do be kind to these people, because a lot of them are showing up to not only like get business, but like to get the most out of the event. And some of it is brand awareness, and some of it is
100% is.
we're trying to talk about a new release or a new something or other that we know is coming down the pike or whatever. Like just be kind, right? Like ask them what they're doing and ask what's going on at the distillery they're excited about. And if they're like, I don't know, we got some 10-year stuff coming out next year, be like, cool, tell me about that. Don't be a snob. Don't act like you know everything. We've all been on the same tours. We all know it's 51% corn and white oak and all the things, right?
Bourbon
Like be
versus
be kind.
shut the fuck up.
Yeah, right. Just please be kind. That's these people are, look, they're dealing with down sales, they're dealing with pressure, they're going through things as a brand as well. Like this isn't just all for jollies
It's
for
true.
them necessarily. So it's a business, and you can be kind, and at minimum you can just be cordial, and that's not hard. That bar is very, very low.
Indeed, indeed. That's good advice. Uh, the a lot of these guys have spent a lot of money to come to these events, right? So that's something fair to remember. And they're there. Um, I mean, they're being like, there's a bit of vulnerability there, right? Especially if you're a mom and pop spot, right?
Mhm.
Um, yeah, so yeah, I think be kind. It's so nice. It's so good to say that. Like, we shouldn't have to tell you that because customer service and kindness should be in the forefront, but it's not. So I think that's great advice. I think one of the things that, speaking of going to those tables and trying some of the stuff that's newer from these smaller distilleries, I tend to want to lean towards, and you guys, I think you will echo this, but towards the cast strength, the high proof,
Yeah,
or
yeah, yeah,
things like that, because
yeah.
you tend
Experimental.
to, yeah, it's their best of the best, right?
Yeah.
And it
Yep.
kind of sets the precedent for what you try after that. So um I found some really unique stuff that I didn't think I was going to like. I think last year we picked up a bottle from Casey Jones that was cinnamon, uh and it ended up being, I mean, my wife freaking loved it and would drink it neat. But it was a great addition to a cocktail. So
Oh, well, oh, there you
yeah,
go,
interesting stuff.
Terry. There'll be my next piece of advice then, because I was going to wait to save this one, but I would recommend, and I did this the second festival I ever went to. You're going to get tipsy. You're going to drink a lot of juice. You're going to forget what you liked and you didn't like, and you're going to drink something that the next day you're going to try and describe to your spouse, and for the love of you, you're not going to remember what it was. I'm not saying take a notebook and a pen unless that's your, ironically, as I carry one with me, but take your phone. When you try something, just get in the habit of whatever you're selecting in that booth and you're trying, take a wee picture of it and just snap the pictures, because
Yeah.
you'll be able to put it together later on that it was this tent, this whiskey, that was the one it was. So I would recommend trying to document somehow what it is you're drinking, because by the afternoon after lunch and you're going around the second back half of the tents, you're gonna start forgetting what it is that you drank and that what you enjoyed.
Yep.
Get
Yeah,
those
I agree with
pickies
that.
going.
Yep.
Yeah,
I'll
I think
wrap it up
that's
by
good
just giving
advice.
the last one and just say, ask better questions. Uh, I'll go ahead and tell this story because you're going to ask for what my favorite like festival moment was.
Yeah, do it.
There was one in Nashville that we went to. All three of us, I believe, were there several years ago, and the after party was at Terry's house, and it was lovely. He had a bonfire, and nobody did a cold plunge, which made me mad, but it's neither here nor
Another
there.
story.
Um,
The
but
details are fuzzy.
yeah, to some, you didn't drive that night. Um,
No.
the I remember discovering Traverse City that evening,
Ooh,
and
that's right.
they were number one super kind. I did not know where Traverse City was. It's in Michigan. For those of you who don't know, I didn't know anything about their juice. It's very good from what I know, and they also were kind enough to, in this very large room, have like a distillery exclusive. It was their cherry finish or cherry dipped, whatever it was, kind of thing. They're like, hey, you can only get this in Michigan. And I sat there and asked a bunch of questions of them to be like, okay, well, like what makes these cherries very specific? And Joe, I didn't take notes that night, so I'm gonna tell on myself. But I don't really remember what the story was. I just remember they were important and they had something to do with that area of Michigan, and they made it a big point, especially to only sell it in the distillery. So. But that wound up being one of my favorite conversations. There was another one with a brand out of St. Louis that I cannot again remember the name of it at the moment because I don't know that I've had them since then. But man, just ask better questions of some of these folks. Like, don't just say like, "Hey, what do you have behind the table?" Like, be like, tell me the story about this because this doesn't just happen overnight. Why did you choose to do a straight finish versus a blend? What is coming down the pipe? What are you experimenting with right now? What are some of the things that you're most proud of as a distillery? I remember asking somebody once, like, it was Chris Fletcher from Jack. I think I said like, how many of these? Oh, no. It was well, that's a different story. I remember who I asked. It was our friend Morgan Salzman. I said, you guys have been doing this for several years. Are there family barrels that you've held back that will never see the light of day that are just master owner blender distillery exclusives? And she said, oh yeah, absolutely, we have some that were some of the first barrels that we ever sourced that we just keep for us, or we'll pour just a smidge of it out for somebody and be like, hey, just because you asked about the oldest stuff that we have in the building, this is what we have. And you don't get that without asking better questions. So
That's right.
just ask, like, treat them like a human, but also just be curious. As our friend Ted Lasso says, be curious, not judgmental.
There we go. I'll piggyback off that and say that that's typically when you find that you don't even have to ask for what's behind the table, right? When you're genuinely interested in, the process, and you're spending some time with the distiller, and it's not, I mean, I know it's not practical to do that at every table because you
Sure.
never get out of there. But when you're, take your time, be selective, and when you engage fully, because those guys will, without you asking, will reach to, hey, you got to try this. This is from my own personal stash, and they'll pour
Mm-hmm.
you a little something that will
Mm-hmm.
blow your mind.
Yeah,
Yep.
they don't want to talk about that 90 proof wheater for 10 minutes either. So
Yeah.
No, they don't.
pick your
No, I mean,
battles, pick your poison.
yeah, that's true. Unless it's Danny from Bardstown, and then he probably would talk about
Yeah,
anything
maybe
for
so.
90
That's
minutes
true.
if you gave him the floor.
And we would listen, oddly. He's got a way with words, that
Yeah,
guy.
obviously we would. I love listening to Danny talk. He's awesome.
Lads, I just poured switched it up a little bit just because we're a whiskey podcast. I'll share, different whiskey.
Okay, go on. Go on.
One of my favorites. I wish it was more readily available, but I just poured. You can see the damage I've done. It's a Peerless,
Oh, yeah.
Peerless Double Oak Rye.
That is so red in the camera.
Peerless is consistently some of the darkest, most colorful bourbon
good.
I think I have
That's
ever
a
seen.
great color.
Both of these came off. It's over my left shoulder, so you can't see it. But both of these came off my premium shelf, which is the stuff that is that creme de la creme. Not creme de la creme, like as in it's not King of Kentucky creme de la creme, but it's creme de la creme as in like it's the Weller foolproofs. It's the that layer that you can get when you find it. Oh, such a good whiskey. Well done, Peerless.
I did a second pour just now because you said you were going to. This is another one. Like I had it once, and I was like, I wonder if I could ever find it again. And all hope was gone because it is only available in one particular state, apparently. And then I got a text in a group thread of somebody who said, I can get these because I'm here right now, and I will mule them back for you. And I was like, yes, absolutely.
I think I know what this is going to be. I think I know.
Do you?
No, yeah,
This is an Old Forester.
I would have got it wrong.
King Ranch. It's only available in Texas, and the rumor on the street is that it's going to be discontinued. But
wow.
I helped somebody kill one of these bottles, and I was like, "This is absolutely it's oaky, it's rich, it's one of my favorites, and it's only 105 proof." But I grew up around horses, and so about King Ranch. Just growing up around horses and in that culture, Ford even made a King Ranch F-150 edition, kind of the Dutton Ranch of the the 80s, 90s, 2000s, and all of that. So, and I made it like my dad and I cracked this together, and we were both like, "Yep, it's fantastic." So it might be on the 4-year journey that Joe's NBC honey barrel was, or honey bottle, to see how long we can actually milk this without actually setting the sun.
Man. Yeah, some you just need to do that for.
That's exactly right. Guys, we're still talking about the bourbon festivals, so let's get into best or your favorite festival experience. And Charlie, that Traverse City one is actually a really special one because I have a sister who lives up that way, and I am like, because it's only available at a certain time of the year and only in Michigan. I am like, I have her hyper focused on this. So I'm like, when this thing gets released, you gotta grab a bottle and get it to me. So, yeah, Joe, I'm interested. What ranks top on your list of bourbon festival experiences?
I Okay, I'll break it into two. I'm an experience guy, so and then I'll break that into two. So there's experience from the drink and the whiskey itself, and then there's the experience from the brand and what the people do, what they tell you, the whatever they've set up in order to facilitate the tasting experience. And I've got a couple of different examples. I do love it when some of these brands choose to bring some of their experimental series down to festivals and test the market or semi-release them at the festival. And I won't walk around like Charlie was talking about earlier. I'm not this person. I won't walk around and purposely just go to those. But if there is something there and available and I like it, I'm buying it. And I remember a couple of years ago, this will date the experience, but a couple of years ago, it was before Amburana had gone mainstream. And we were at a festival where a couple of different people, Starlight and Barrel,
Barrel Co.
Yep.
Barrelco, had been messing around with it and had two bottles available. And I bought both of them. And to this day, they're still probably the best Amburana finished whiskey. Once it became mainstream, I think people started doing it too big. But I love it when somebody can provide an experience. And I remember particularly with those two companies being able to try something it wasn't behind the table. It was available until it ran out. And then they had a certain amount of bottles to sell. Just being at a place like that where you're already giddy like a kid in Disneyland, and then being able to like think that you're drinking something that is pre-release, but having it be as unique as that. That's not a 90 proof wheat. It's not. They didn't give me travel at Traverse City. This is a special thing coming to market. No, it's something unique. I don't think it works if it's bland and boring. But that I love as an experience. And then the other half, and I'll give those two companies credit for that. The other side of an experience that I enjoy, and I'm just going to blow my own horn for a little bit. When you guys are at festivals, whiskey festivals, particularly I'd say in the southeast region, and you see Bardstown and you see their big wooden trailer that looks like a cabin on wheels. Well, I was a part of the company that built that, a 15-man company, so particularly small. So I was a part of the company that built that for Bardstown. So nothing beats the time I went to the first festival after helping be a part of that team and walking in to that trailer, because again, giving Bardstown the credit, not the build, their vision of what they wanted to do in terms of creating an experience that was a complete wraparound. You stepped into it, you got served at a bar. The bar and everything was themed the same as what they have at their base camp. They went to that level of detail that the bloody grass on the wall of the inside of the trailer was the same as what they got at it was crazy, the level of detail. So that experience, then stepping into it, being obviously a part of the team that was the part of the team that built it, was probably the highlight and one of my coolest experiences at a whiskey festival.
Love it.
That was awesome. As we all got to experience that trailer, and that was so
you
cool.
still see it. It's still out. They still use it. It's still on the road.
Yeah. It's a beautiful piece of craftsmanship for sure. And
shout out! Yeah, he'd kill me if I didn't. Shout out Aerobuild. Shout out Brian Fuente. Love you, brother.
Yeah,
I knew who you were talking about.
Yeah, oh yeah, you guys knew.
Man, that's it. Yeah, like I love tiny houses. I've built 4 of them.
Looks like one.
Yeah, and it does look like a tiny house, and I do love it. They're just, I get affectionate about that stuff. Just, I don't know that I'd ever live in one, but boy, they're really, really cool. I'm fascinated by that lifestyle. And
there's a couple of brands doing that level now, right? Though, Terry, there's a couple of brands.
Yeah.
There's other trailers, like I know Heaven Hill have invested in a really big unit that you step into. I think Maker's Mark have one that is a really big unit. Like a couple of these brands have really adopted this festival criteria of marketing, I guess, and gone all in on making it the best they can.
Yeah, for sure. I'm trying to think of my favorite. It's hard to narrow it down. There was a couple of.
You've been going a lot longer than us, and probably more frequently.
Well, to KBF for sure. I haven't gotten to really experience, like, I would love to go to Bourbon in the Air. I think there's one. I don't know if it's in Cincinnati or not, but I think it's Bourbon on the River. Um,
Hmm.
I would love to try a few of those and check those out as well. But KBF, two really big experiences that pop into my head, and it's not so much about the one of them, the scale of what it was, but it was the how it happened. I was with Tiny, which we've referenced him from Southern Whiskey Society, and we're walking around, and we end up. He runs into one of his master distiller buddies, and because I had been drinking, I can't remember. I really can't remember who it was. And we end up doing, long story short, we end up sitting around a table with all of these people around us with three master distillers, Tiny and myself, and we're doing a barrel pick. Um, I'm tasting this and giving an opinion, and I don't even know how I got here. That was pretty freaking cool. To be a part of that, not know what was going on, wasn't really sure who was in the room, walk away, and then get enlightened and been like, oh dang, probably should have been like a little bit more, I don't know, document this, maybe take a selfie. It was a pretty cool spot uh to be in. And then smaller experience last year, ran into my good buddy Tim Beckner, Bourbon Enjoyment, National Bourbon Enjoyment on Instagram. If you guys get a
Oh,
chance, go give
legend,
him a
what a
follow.
ledge. Yeah.
He's a good dude.
Chat as
We
well. I haven't spoken to him in a long, long time. If you see this,
Yeah,
matey, hello.
yeah.
It's not Tim.
Tim's a friend. We did an interview with him for the Soggy Bourbon Boys podcast, and it was a great time. Um, and he and I have been chatting it up ever since. We're kind of in the same industry of fitness, so we talk from time to time on Instagram. And I ran into him last year, and we did an interview, and then we went over and just some of these mom and pop distillers, and we were slinging jokes and sipping bourbon, and it was just a laid back time that was really really fun. It's running into old friends, maybe the ones you only see at once a year at a bourbon festival because you're in different states or whatever. But yeah, that was a real fun moment. That's the camaraderie part, right? For me. So getting a chance to hang out, maybe meeting some new people and you doing an experience that you never dreamt of, or it's connecting with some old friends and, over the oil of conversation, as it were. So yeah, good times.
Charlie, have you got anything that stands out from your experiences?
Traverse City was the one that I remember the most.
Yeah.
I think at the same one was when Heaven's Door debuted some of their like Redemption and
Finished.
oh, there you go. Look at you
I saw the
repping.
logo. Yeah, I did wonder.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were debuting those three that they were offering as kind of their um,
Yeah.
everyday bottles.
Yeah.
And I remember that being really fun. That was one that I would try one and then be like, hey, I know you got two more. I'm gonna come back for these other two.
Yeah.
And I remember at least two of them being very very good.
Yeah.
And somebody, one of the reps wound up gifting me one. Because I coached his kid, for a basketball season. I was like, oh, I've been waiting to have one of these. It was like, oh yeah, I know. So that was another solid one. I would say, I always appreciate when a an event treats regular people like regular people. That's so stupid. I appreciate when an event treats everybody like a VIP, even if you're not a VIP.
Mm-hmm.
When you can tell that they have taken the time and the energy to create an event that is an experience holistically. It's not just for the haves or and excludes the have-nots.
Mm-hmm.
From the visuals to the layout to the people who are in the room, that makes the difference. It's when it's not just a trade show, when it's not just an
Yeah.
expo, when it's not just when you're not just another pour, to them, and it's not just about walking around with the little plastic cups or whatever. I
Yeah,
think
I
that's
would
the
agree.
one. Those are the ones that leave the most impression on me. I think the same goes for distillery tours as well.
Yeah.
When somebody
Yeah.
goes above and beyond to not just talk about mash bills or not just say like, here's the 18-year-old stuff that you're never gonna see, la 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 la.
Yeah.
One of the best tours I ever went on, and I know we're talking about festivals and not tours, but Castle and Key was one of the best tours I have
It goes hand
ever
in
been
hand. It
on.
goes hand in hand.
Yeah, and one of Colonel Taylor's like descendants gave us this particular tour, which was really cool. And he was not pretentious about it whatsoever. He was very down to earth. Maker's Mark was another one that we
Oh
just had
yeah.
a fabulous guide and host for the day. Bardstown's kind of that way. Like you can tell the difference when somebody's not just trying to treat you like cattle and go, and here we have
Yeah.
our distillate, and
Yeah.
here we have our yeast strain, and this is where the bottling plant is. Do we have any questions now? It's when somebody is trying to make sure they leave an impression and elevate their brand or their experience. That's where I think I really latch on to those, and where I've had the most memorable ones, because we've all had
Yeah.
really bad ones, and you tend to remember the better ones for those reasons.
Yeah. Baker's Marks ranks up there for me, top tours. Um, and I was actually in our first issue, guys. Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's a good throwback there, Charlie. All right, Charlie, you got news for us? Or did you already give it with your old Ezra?
No, that was just my like anecdote on the ground reporting. I think we could talk about how year over year stuff. Dog is barking. Sorry. We could talk about all of the dips in sales and the tariffs and this, that, or the other, and whatnot. I would say there's some cool releases coming out that are worth noting. Elijah Craig is dropping a 21-year-old that's going to retail for about 300. There's a Penelope that's going to launch their classic series, which will be two new foundational expressions
Super
for them.
interested by that, by the way, because
Mm-hmm.
they, in their marketing, have kind of alluded to the fact that their experimental series over the years has been what has been narrowing down what this is. And
Mm-hmm.
if I'm not mistaken, this is not like a limited release. This is two new foundational
Yep.
whiskey join the lineup, right?
Yeah, very similar to the Bardstown Origin series. These will be their everyday on the shelf offerings.
Super interested.
Remus is going to have a Lou Gehrig, a medley of 4 mash bills at 109 proof. That'll be a very approachable bottle. There's only about 9,600 that they're going to release at $130 a piece. Sweetens Cove is dropping its first release for this year as well. It'll be 98 proof, finished in Cuvier wine barrels, and that will only be $45 compared to.
What wine is that then?
Sure. I just pronounced it however a good Southerner would, with all of the vowels. Yeah, all the vowels. All the vowels.
Charlie
stayed
actually
intact.
just said red wine in his Appalachian tongue.
Yeah, I didn't go by color. I went with whatever the word was on this list. And Old Forester brought back President's Choice as well. I've already seen a couple of people on local groups post about that. So, even I would say even in the dips of the market and the challenges that the industry is having overall, there's still new releases, collabs, blends, everything coming out. People are getting creative and inventive with what they're putting out here, which good for them. This is the time for innovation. When things go down, kind of like they have, this is the time to step it up and do new things.
Right. That's right.
Yeah, I'm like pleasantly surprised to see like that's in the news, right? The releases and the blends, the collaborations, and less shutdowns of distilleries and bankruptcies. So that is nice. Maybe we're settling a bit, right? Like you said, the healing is upon us.
We can call it a healing, and I like being softies and calling it a healing. What it really is a market correction.
It is.
Is
You're
what
right.
it really
You're
is.
right.
It's a market correction, and in the market correction, us as consumers are healing. I would say, as a distillery, you've not been healing for the past 5 years. You've been fucking raking it in. So
That's right.
the flip side is that this is healing as a consumer, I guess. versus anything else.
Yeah,
You're
and that's
100% right.
I think it's fascinating as well, Joe. Somebody posted in one of the groups that I follow. It's not any kind of not anything illicit, just passing information and appreciation and whatnot. But they did post several pictures of a store that they had visited recently, out of state, not in Tennessee. Super marked up stuff, and all of us can kind of roll our eyes and go, "Yeah, good luck with that." Now, there might have been somebody who would have paid that 2 or 3 years ago, but at this point, we're starting to see that less and less, hopefully. And I mean, I would argue that it's not going to go away permanently. Some of these store owners are still going to try to gouge. They're still going to try to mark it up. But I think we're going to see that become far less than it was
Yeah.
just even maybe a year or two ago.
When you talk about mass distribution, right, and the quantities that these companies are talking about, like you take the company before, you take, sorry, the liquor store before that would take, let's just take Weller Foolproof. Everyone knows Weller Foolproof. You We saw it top shelf in a lot of liquor stores for, I think, minimum 350, 500 at maximum, maybe at the craze higher than 500, right?
Yeah, I saw it for 7 in several
Yeah.
places, maybe 3 years ago.
And that liquor store owner probably sat on whatever their allocation was, be that a case of foolproof, 2 cases of foolproof if they were lucky, right? And obviously, if they were sold one, fortunate enough at that markup, they put another one on the shelf and kept the markup. When somebody like that has been pressured to buy from distribution volume still, and they have been given 2 cases of foolproof that they've not shifted for $700, and now they're being given 2 more cases of foolproof on top of the rest of the Tito's and everything else that they have to continue to shift. I just logically, it makes companies don't make it, inventory costs company monies, and companies fully underestimate the cost of inventory versus always moving a product and having margin off the movement of product, if that makes sense.
Yep.
So
Mhm.
there will be enough pressure. You're right, Charlie. Some people won't conform straight away. I think they're forced to, unless they want to collect cases of Weller Foolproof that they hope the market one day recovers on, versus shifting it at the new market price, which could still be higher than what it will be in another 1 to 2 years. If you know
Hmm.
what I mean. Like markets, when they come down, they crash or they come down. So what was once 500 on the market, you could still get 200 for, and the consumer will love you. But if you want to sit on it and let it cost you more money in terms of inventory costs until it reaches retail price again, then it makes no sense. So people are forced to sell, is my whole point with that, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I
I
really
agree.
hope we get there. I really hope we get there on scale across the entire nation.
Yeah, I think we will too. I think we're in that cooling period, and maybe even further down than we realize, where choices are going to have to be made. That it will not be business as usual, as the last 6 years have trained some store owners and managers to operate
Yeah.
at. I really do think there's going to come a day where we're not just going to see it on the shelf. We're not going to get gouged. And,
Yeah.
That 100%.
yeah.
100%. And I see that as a two-step process, because I take the biggest liquor store up here in Chicago to my local area, right? The best one. Previously, they had a cabinet where all the rich shit got put in, right? It is now all on the shelf. I've sent pictures, lines. I've never seen lines of El Matili on the shelf. Lines of El Matili on the shelf. Lines of Weller, single barrel. Lines of Penelope Rio, lined up, still at an extortionate price. But never before would that have reached the shelf.
Mhm. Yeah,
So
it's
long
not
term, some
locked
people
behind
will
glass
buy
anymore.
that. They'll get through it slowly. And I've been back over like 2 months now and still seen the Penelope Reel, and I've still seen these things sitting there. Because obviously people are not buying at that price, but now it's on the shelf. So to my point, when he is forced to eventually lower that price to either cash in on the new market price or like wait till it becomes retail, MSRP. Like I think you're right, Charlie. It's that two-step process, and right now we're seeing stuff come back, like old Reza come back to the shelf, and now people are now forced to bring the price down.
Yeah, there's a Willet Purple Top sitting on the top shelf at a store not too far away from me.
Wow.
It's I mean it's there. It's available.
$3.99.
What's that?
How much is it?
Oh, I don't even remember. I couldn't tell you. But I mean, I think you're right. We're going to start to see it, and yes, it will still take some time for them to get wise to the fact that if you want to move this, you cannot 4 or 5x the MSRP on it. You just can't.
People are not paying anymore.
No, people are not going to pay it, and people vote with their dollars, and that's what's going to determine what happens next.
Yep, 100% right. All right, fellas, it's that time of the show. I hope you're ready, feeling sharp in your mind. It's time for some trivia.
Why do we do this at the end and not the beginning? Like, why do you let us get
funnier
tanked up
when
before we do this?
It's funnier after a couple of bourbons. And there's not a prize.
Funny to who, Terry?
I hope the listeners, they're still hanging on.
I think the thought journeys that our faces go on get more entertaining if we save it till the end.
That's right. That's
exactly right.
You'll see me look at both corners and be like, oh.
You're right.
That's right. All right. So here are the rules. Well, one, you got to answer quickly. The first one to give me, it's multiple choice. So the first one to give me a letter, whether it's A, B, C, or D, gets the chance to answer first. It's the person I hear. So I want you to holler out your A, B, C, or D. Okay,
if they get it wrong, if they get it wrong, then is it passed to the person who didn't shout out?
100%. 100%.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
And by they, you mean you and Charlie. So.
Still a group project. There's 3 of us. Back off, Terry.
Yeah.
You make anything. So, I'm competitive as hell. I just want to know how I can win this.
That's right. 5 questions. So it's an uneven amount of questions. And the loser, I don't know.
If I miss 1, I get a B. If I miss 2, I get a D. This is bad.
Math. If you lose, with you have to close the show, outro and all. So that's your disincentive for this. So
okay.
And as awkward as it'll be, as awkward as it'll be, it'll be fun for me. All right. So here we go, fellas. Are you ready?
Yep. Go on.
Sure.
I'm going to give you an easy one to start. So you're welcome in advance.
Oh, you hear it.
Here we go. The father of bourbon title is most commonly associated with, wait for the multiple choice, A, Elijah Craig, B, Evan Williams, C, Basil Hayden, or D, James Crow.
A.
Oh, man. Out the gates. Charlie's on fire. It is 1-0.
I had another guess. If you would, it would have been very hard if you would have added another name in there.
What was it? What was the end result?
It was Elijah Craig. Elijah Craig is better known as the father of bourbon. So there you go. All right. Are you ready for another one?
No.
All right, here we go. Anyway, during Prohibition, which of the following companies was granted a license to sell medicinal whiskey? Was it A, Four Roses, B, Buffalo Trace, in parentheses, George T. Stagg Distillery, C, Maker's Mark, or D, Old Grandad?
B.
Oh, it is now 1-1.
Do you know why I did that? Do you know why I did that? I don't know the answer to that, but never do you make an elaborate answer that long with brackets.
Yeah, you're right.
That's true.
Right. ChatGPT screwed me on that one. Okay. AI was not my friend there. Okay. So,
I almost went with Old Granddad just to say like the most obscure one, because that's usually the answer. But you're right. There was too much context given to that answer where Joe was probably
1-1. I'll take it. It's 1-1.
Go.
I just realized that quicker than Charlie.
New game.
It's 1-1. We got 3 questions left. Hopefully they progressively get harder.
Right.
Here we go.
You hope.
Which famous bourbon family is associated with both Wild Turkey and Russell's Reserve? Is it the Beam family, A, Beam family, sorry, and or B, the Samuels family, C, the Russell family, or D, the Weller family?
See,
Well, that one was way too easy. It is now
gave it
two.
away.
It's now
To be
2 to
fair,
1.
This is why we don't put AI slop out into the world
Yeah,
without
I know,
a human
yeah,
reading it.
I did read it.
was ringing a bell.
Back
Like,
off.
for some reason, after a couple of whiskeys, you were saying A, and I was like, I know that name. That name sounds like it could be it. But yeah, well done, Charlie.
Okay. 2 to 1. Next question. The bourbon boom of modern era is generally considered to have begun in which decade? A, the 1970s, B, the 1980s, C, the 1990s, D, the 2000s.
Oh, come off. I'm D. I'm claiming this
D.
one. Christ.
You are wrong. The answer is C. I'm kidding. It's
90s?
D. 2 to
Okay.
2.
Nobody was drinking bourbon in the 90s.
What?
Come on.
I want to know what
We're all drinking Zimas.
what caveman
exactly
AI system you were using to come up with this quiz. This is obviously ChatGPT.
It definitely is. It's definitely not Claude. We know Claude's a little higher class. So
It's true.
It's like that was the worst example. They could have gone with Gen Z or I don't know. It's something else. That was like 2000s. Okay, that's
bear
2-2,
with me.
yeah.
It's 2-2. Next answer wins it. All right.
My dog is
Here we
locked
go.
in. She's ready.
Are you ready? Which Kentucky county is considered the birthplace of the bourbon industry and home to many historic distilleries? Is it A, Jefferson County? Is it B, Nelson County? Is it C, Fayette County? Or D, Warren County?
A.
You are wrong. Charlie?
B.
Can I phone a friend?
Is it your dog?
She said bark. B.
And B takes it. It is Nelson County. Oh, no. Well done, sir.
I was expecting you to say Franklin because Franklin, Kentucky, which is probably where.
Yeah, none
Yeah.
of them rang a bell.
I didn't hear anything familiar, and I wouldn't have gotten even close had Joe not eliminated my first choice.
So in my proofreading of the ChatGPT, now terribly easy,
Quizmaster.
terribly easy trivia. That question I read, and I was like, that I'll save for last. So,
Yep.
well done, Joe. It looks like you're closing out the show. So, without further ado, go on, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to us three fools talk about some whiskey festivals for the past 1 hour and 7 minutes. If you don't already, please follow us on all social channels, including Instagram at Blind Tiger Collective. If on YouTube you do not subscribe, are we on YouTube?
We are on YouTube.
Please subscribe on YouTube to our channel where you can watch us fools on a regular basis. Thank you for listening. Tune in next time. Did I miss anything?
That's it. Cheers.
Peace.
Perfect.
Cheers.
See ya.